Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Today is August the 1st. New week. Not a new week. New month. Hopefully it brings us some new money, man. We got 5 games in the W for today. We're going to jump right into them. I didn't play anything yesterday, so no recap. Kiki Ariafin did stay under her boards, though. Tiffany Hayes didn't hit a 3, even though everybody else on her team hit about 5 threes. And the game did stay under. I think those were the 3 things that I had on the recap page yesterday. So I didn't play any of them, though. Kind of stayed off the game, kicking myself and not betting the live under at the end of the first quarter when it was 30-20. I think I could have got like a 169 on BetMGM, but I didn't play that. And then we saw the offense just kind of dwindle down for both teams. Neither team could score the basketball in the second half. So that was pretty easy, but I didn't bet it. Hopefully you guys made some money yesterday. Let's go through a couple comments real quick and we'll jump into the games for today. Gina says, good morning. Chris in chat went 0-1 in W last night. Kiki Ariafin lost on her board. She finished with 6, but it was like, 3-4 straight games? And that's what always scares me. It always scares me. And I was thinking about it this morning. I'm like, I think the reason why she went under is because her minutes were low. She only played 22 minutes yesterday. I expected more, especially with Nolia Edwards being there. And also that you just let the Golden State Valkyries light you up from the three-point line early in the game, and then you find yourself in a deficit. The Washington Mystics cannot guard the three-point line. I mean, clear as day. Golden State with the right side yesterday. RR says, let's get it. Liberty -11. We'll talk about that game. What up, Parlay J? He says, yo, I'm so glad I'm catching a live today. Going to be a great Friday, a good Friday. I agree with that. What up, Brian? Hope all is well with you. He says Golden State under after that first period that under flew in. Great handicap yesterday on the under, buddy. Let's get it today. What's up, Mark? Steven says if Ariel Alkin plays, Sky plus the points worth the look. She is already ruled out. Probably Jay says Sky plus the points. Sun money line -4.5 for the Sparks. Ooh, he says I don't know what to do with the dream. We'll talk about that in a second. What our prolific says, what are percentages of overs? What are percentage of the overs hitting? I need to know a time frame in general. What up, Doms? Says caught the game last night, caught the live last night, and put 3 units on the under 158.5. Nice look there. Steven says NECA over 61% points over 61% field goal percentage. We'll talk about all that. Yeah, Ariel Ack is already ruled out. Good morning, Fur. Appreciate you for tapping in 3-time. Hope all is well with you, bro. And Prop says that was the nastiest last 4 minutes of basketball I've ever watched. I was like, I think I was shaving last night, and like I had the game on my phone, I had the AirPod in my ear, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, I just keep looking down like every couple seconds, and the score doesn't change, and I'm like, is my phone broke? Is it just audio? But yeah, they literally couldn't score. I think the Golden State Valkyries scored 6 points in that fourth quarter. That makes it hard. It makes it hard for me to want to bet on teams like that. But they got the job done last night. They absolutely did. I knew I didn't want to lay points with the Mystics. That just wasn't gonna happen. All right, so let's jump into it for today. Jackson, your AI sports betting tool. There is a link in the description where you guys can check out Jackson. Use it for your handicap and player prop size totals, overs, unders, team totals, MLB, NFL, season-long win totals, whatever it is that you're looking for. Jackson can give you guys some insight. You can take the information, do what you want to do, play it, fade it, whatever the case might be. Yesterday, Jackson went 1-1, so cooled off a little bit after hitting 4 straight. Shakira Austin did stay under her 14.5 points, and Kiki Ariafin Jackson was on her over her 7.5 boards as well, and that ended up being a loser. Today's prompt, same prompt, right? Which the prompt is, what are the 2 best player props in the WNBA for Friday, August the 1st? Jackson likes Rachel Banham over her 9.5 points. It says that she is poised to exceed her line against the Golden State Valkyries today. She's been excellent scoring form recently, consistently hitting the over on her points prop. This makes sense. Recent performance, she's hit the over 9.5 in 60% of her last 5 games, averaging an impressive 14.4. This trend is even stronger in her last 10 games, hitting the over 80% of the time, averaging 14.3. Matchup advantage in her only matchup against Golden State, Banham hit the over. I remember this game. She hit a couple threes in a row. So it says scoring 11 points per game in the season matchup. The Valkyries defense against her position ranks 12th in the league, indicating that they are not particularly strong at limiting points from players in her role. News narrative with key players like Angel Reese reportedly sidelined due to injury. For the Chicago Sky, Rachel Banham is likely to see an increase offensively in offensive workload and more scoring opportunities, further boosting her chance of hitting the over. So take Rachel Banham over her points prop, and then Natasha Cloud is the next one. Natasha Cloud under 4.5 boards. So this is interesting. So Natasha Cloud has consistently stayed under her rebounds prop, making the under a strong play for her matchup against the Connecticut Sun. Recent performance, Cloud has been well below the line in recent games, hitting the under 4.5 rebounds in 100% of her last 5 outings. While she's averaging just 3.4 rebounds, this strong trend continues over her last 10 games, hitting the under 90% of her last 10 games. Wow, okay. Averaging just the same 3.4 rebounds. Matchup history, her performance against Connecticut Sun further supports the under, as she's hit the under 100% of her previous 4 matchups, averaging just 3 rebounds against the Connecticut Sun. And then the Sun defense against her position ranks 11th, which is slightly weak. Cloud's consistent individual performance and historical data against the specific opponent suggests she will stay under her 4.5 boards. So under for Natasha Cloud, under her boards, and the over for Rachel Banham over on her points prop. That is Jackson. Check out the link in the description. Let's jump into the games. First one we got on the board, and I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't really look too much into player props because I like the sides a lot. I typically go side total or side and total, just depending on which one makes the most sense. I'll dive into that, and then I'll start looking at player props if I can't find anything. I didn't really look into a lot of player props today because I like the sides and the totals, in my opinion. So let's jump into the first matchup. We got the New York Liberty and the Connecticut Sun. Game we played in Connecticut, of course. We look at the injury report. The Liberty will be without everybody. They were without the last game, right? They of course just played against the Lynx. They were missing Kennedy Burke. They were missing Nair Sabli and missing Brianna Stewart. All 3 are still out. And then Emma Messerman is probably not going to play in today's game. She's supposed to be signed. I did see that they waived Sharon this morning. So I don't think that Messerman is going to play today. No, these two teams do play again on Wednesday. I think it is. May not even be Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? No, my fault. It's actually Sunday. They play again on Sunday in Connecticut. So Emma may be available for that game, but she'll be out for this game. On the Connecticut Sun side of things, I think they do have a pretty clean injury report. Nobody listed for the Connecticut Sun. Let me just double check that. Nobody listed for Connecticut. So this was a spot where I played the Liberty. I did lay the 10 yesterday. This line is you still can get a 10 on, I'm not sure which book you can get a 10 on because I see 11s, but it's moved a little bit. It actually had went to 12 yesterday. The total has continued to go up. It opened 164.5. It's up to 170.5 now. I don't really want to play it that high, but I do think it's an over type game as well. So you got the Liberty coming off 3 straight losses for the first time all season. They have not done well on the road. They're only 2-7-1 against the spread in their last in their road games in general. And then the Connecticut Sun, we just saw them get absolutely smoked. This will be their 5th straight home game, so they are comfortably at the crib. They do have a rest advantage, of course, as well. But they just lost to Seattle, who used them as a punching bag. They lost that game by 16 as 11-point home dogs. And I think the Seattle Storm are the same way Seattle Storm used them as a punching bag. I think the New York Liberty will also use them as a punching bag. The Seattle Storm were coming off that loss against the Washington Mystics, where they couldn't score the basketball. They went into Connecticut and I want to say scored close to 100 points. And I think the Liberty can do the same thing. Connecticut has covered 5 of their last 7 games, but to me, I just think that I think that New York Liberty, even not at full strength, I think they have so many matchup advantages. I think that they will be able to get out and run. I think they'll be able to turn Connecticut over. I like what I'm seeing from Izzy, playing the big minutes along with JJ. So yeah, this was a spot that I like the Liberty in. Like I said, Liberty, they defensively they've been giving it up. They've actually given up 92 points in their last 3 games, but they were against pretty good offensive team. The Connecticut Sun, I just don't see them as a great offensive team. Connecticut also not playing a lot of defense. They played in 3 straight overs themselves for over and 4 their last 5 games and 7-3 to the over in their last 10 games. And so that's why I lean towards the over. Probably should have got in on the over as well. With it moving 5.5 points, of course, I don't want to play it now. Actually, 6 points. I don't want to play it now, but I do think the over in the New York Liberty are the right side. Road favorites this season off a road loss. They covering about 58% of the time. I'm sorry, not this season. So road favorites in general who are coming off a loss cover 58% of the time in the next game if they're another road favorite. This season, that trend is actually 78.6% of the time. 11-3-1 this season. 7 straight wins, 7 straight covers in this spot. So that's a seasonal angle. And then you look at teams that are coming off a road loss and then they're a road favorite, laying double digits, and they're 13-4 against the spread, 76.5%, a perfect 5-0 against the spread this season as well. So I do think the Liberty get the job done. As far as secondary plays in this game, I should have bet it last night. I didn't, kind of left it in the bet slip, but I also considered first half over. To me, when I think about the Connecticut Sun, their offense just always seems to not come to play in the second half. Like whatever their opponent is, they make a bunch of adjustments and they stop scoring the basketball. So I considered New York, Connecticut over. I think it was 84.5 in the first half yesterday. That number's up to 86.5 now. I still think they could potentially get to 90 points in the first half. I think the Liberty will be able to knock down some shots. Connecticut can also contribute a little bit as well. So, I do lean, Liberty and Connecticut first half over as well. I didn't get involved in that one, though. Just the Liberty minus the 10 for me in this spot. We'll see if they can bounce back on the road. They haven't been covering a lot recently, but we shall see. Let's see what you guys are thinking, and we'll keep it moving. Try to keep the show short and sweet today. What up, Nayeli? She says cash both shows and money line was sweating in the fourth quarter. Okay. What up, JLB says, what's good, everyone? Easy cash on the Mystics fourth quarter spread, but only scoring 18 points total is disgusting. It was like, 12-6, I think, in the fourth quarter. That's what you get when you get these two terrible offensive teams, man. Just out there, might as well have been playing with blindfolds on last night. What's up, FY? He says, good luck, everyone. Tough card today. I don't think it's too tough. JB says the over is 9-3 if the total is 160 or higher, and the home team is a double-digit dog. That says over. I did see this as well. She did get to town before the game the other day. I see her as game time decision. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna play though, Jason. I felt like they would have announced it yesterday, but I could be wrong. We shall see. Now, says I love the Sun plus 11 and the over 169. So on the opposite side of me, we agree on the total. Versus got the Liberty 10.5. They should put belt to ass to the Sun team, even with no Stewie. They need this after 3 straight losses. I agree with that. Mainly because the Sun are very well rested. I don't think it matters. Let's see. DJ Prop says, what's your opinion on Mabry? Do you think she gets more than 20-ish minutes, or do you think Connecticut is focusing on their younger players for the rest of the year? I think it really just depends on, what Marina Mabry is doing. Like if you need her for the over, in my opinion. But if she's out there, knocking down a bunch of shots, I think they just kind of ride the momentum of whoever's hot. So if we look at Marina Mabry's minutes, she played just 17 in the last game against Seattle, but she also didn't shoot the ball well, right? 4 for 10 from the field, 0 for 1 from the three-point line. Against the Valkyries, she shot she shot 6 for 13 against the Valkyries. She did go over in that game. This was the game that they blew the Valkyries out, but she still only played 20 minutes. So she hasn't played 30 minutes, since she's returned. Maybe, you see a little bit of her minutes increase in this spot just based on it being this will be her 3rd game coming back from the injury, right? No, this will be her 4th game coming back from the injury. So maybe a little increase in her minutes. I'm not sure. Maybe listed at 12.5. I think that she could go up and over that number though, but I don't want to bet on the Connecticut Sun players if I'm being honest. They also added I don't see her lines, but they also added the other guard, and she's been stealing some minutes. Peters has been stealing some minutes. Like, it's a lot of players over there in Connecticut. They just subbing players in and out, left and right. FY says Suns rested and coming off getting blown out, and the Suns scoring can't take the libs. Okay, so opposite side there. I understand it. I get it. PZ top of the morning to you, bro. Anthony says he'll play Sabrina. I knew it's going to be some Sabrina love. Sabrina has been absolutely hooping. It makes sense if you're just playing the trend without Stewie being there. Sabrina's over. She's had 29 points in 3 of the 4 games that she's played without Stewie. She's coming off a 31-point game, so you're just kind of riding a hot hand. She did hit 3 of her 8 threes in the last game, 11 for 20 from the field. And we see her field goal attempts go way up. I think her usage is up as well. Yeah, she had a 32% usage rate in that last game after having a 30% usage rate against Dallas. She also had a 31% usage rate against the Sparks. This was the game that Stewie got hurt. And even before that against the Mercury, she had a 32% usage rate as well. So if you give her a usage rate that is that high, right? So let's just put it at 28% or higher. She is over in just about 53% of her games, but she's averaging north of 22 points per game. This is statistically the worst defense in the WNBA, worst defensive rating. Yeah, Stewie's going to get busy. Either her points or her assists, something's going to go over for Stewie today. She's also been rebounding the ball a lot better. But yeah, 19 and a half, it makes a lot of sense. But you said 32 and a half points, rebounds, and assists. So just put all of it together. That also makes a ton of sense. I would agree and be back in Stewie in this spot as well. Her rebounds have gone under in 3 straight games. Connecticut's not the greatest rebounder team either. I'm sorry, her assists have gone under in 3 straight games. 6.5 is the number. It is due to the over. Her rebounds, she's gone under in back-to-back games. But like I said, Connecticut's not. They actually allow the most rebounds as well. And Sabrina's a pretty good rebounder. So could not talk you off for that. 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. It's 33.5 on some books, but 32.5 is consensus. Let's see what else you guys are saying here. What up, AOD? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. Y'all take a second, hit the like button for me if you can. Brian says he likes Libs -10. Laying double digits with the starters out, but can't back the Sun. I just think it's a nice bounce back spot. JJ better get up for this game. I think she will. She typically plays well against her old team, man. Jacqueline Jones plays well against Connecticut. She, of course, played for Connecticut. Right now, JJ props, I can see that. All right, let's keep it moving. Next game up, I did bet that one on. Next game up, we got Fever and Wings. We just double check the line real quick. Yeah, this is starting to move now. I'm probably kicking my. I didn't think it would move that much. Honestly, I played the total. I wanted to play the side too. Let me just see if I can still see if there's a 3.5 that's available. Yeah, 3.5. 3.5 is available right now on ESPN Bet. I kind of want it. I think the Fever can win this game. I think they can cover the 4-point spread, 3.5 point spread. It is moving to 4. I see 4.5s on a lot of books right now. So, I mean, that is, moving. It's already past the possession, but it's still 2 possessions. And we just saw Dallas cover one of these games against Atlanta, getting the same exact point spread in their last game. They lost the game but covered the number. And this total is only going up, right? So we look at the injury report on the Indiana side of things. Everybody will play outside of Caitlin Clark. And then on the Dallas side of things, everybody is going to play. Even Maddie Siegrist is supposed to make her return in this game. So you look at the Indiana Fever, they've won 3 straight. They've covered all 3. And this was after dropping 2 games in New York against the New York Liberty. This starts a 4-game road trip for them. For Dallas, this will be their 4th straight home game. So they've been comfortably at the crib. They've covered back-to-back games and 4 of their last 6 games. Indy, when you look at them from a head-to-head perspective, they have owned this Dallas team. They've won 4 straight. They've won both games this season. They've also covered both games this season. And when I looked at the games this season, the last 7 matchup between these 2 teams have gone up and over the total. Dallas has allowed 102 points and 94 points in their first 2 matchups against this Indiana Fever team so far this season. So Indiana has had no shot. Dallas has no shot of really slowing them down. And I think I could continue to see that. You'll also look at Indy's offense. They've been really balling. They scored 84 points or better in 3 of their last 4 games. Dallas has played in 3 straight overs. 7 of their last 10 games have gone up and over the total. The Indiana Fever, 4 of their last 5 games have gone up and over the total. They're also 7-3 to the over in their last 10 games. So this was easy for me to just I thought the total was a little bit too low when it opened, and I didn't even get the best of the number. It opened 167.5 yesterday. I got 169.5 last night when I sent it out to the members. But this is now up to 170. What is it? 173.5. So yeah, much worse number is available right now. But I do think that a lot of points will be scored in this game. If we just look at the other thing, Dallas doesn't play any defense. I think that I think Indiana can kind of name their number in this game. Their offense is starting to look a lot better, even without Paige Beckers. Offensive rating last 5 games, they are just 7, but they are 2nd in pace. So the Fever have actually started to play a lot faster, even without Caitlin Clark being there. I know the Dallas Wings are really fast as well. They are 5th in pace. And they continue to be one of the worst defenses in the WNBA. Last 10 games, they're giving up an average of 89.5 points per game. I think the Fever's offense is going to be able to score the basketball. I expect the game to be played with pace. So, yeah, I bet the over in this game. Not going to stay on this one too long because the line has moved a little bit. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Let's see. FY says I got over 167.5. Let's cash. So you got a better number than I did. What's up, Billy? Appreciate you for tapping in. Leaning Wings first says, I think the 3.5 should be good for the Fever. The reason why I didn't bet the Fever in this spot is because I don't think the Fever have been too great as a road favorite this season. 5-3 straight up, 4-4 against the number. They've alternated covers. They did cover against the Sky. That was the Sky team with, a bunch of injuries. They lost to the Sun, didn't cover. They were laying 15 points in that spot though. And then against the Wings, the same Wings team, remember they won the second leg of a back-to-back. The Wings had 2 days of rest, and they beat the Wings 94-86 in this game. They were only laying 1.5. So I do think they can win. I think they can cover such a short number. If I can get a 3.5 when the show ends, I will take it. Niley says the Fever is the better team, but the spread scares me. I like the Fever money line and first half money line. The Wings are sneaky on spreads. It's because the Wings, in my opinion, are sneaky on spreads because they're a pretty good rebounding team. If you look at, I think that's one of the things that keeps them in the game. They've also, last 5 games, they've done a really good job protecting the basketball. They turned the ball over at the 4th lowest rate, but on the season, they're 8th in turnover rate. If you look at the Fever, they actually forced the most turnovers in their last 5 games. They just turned the Mercury over 17 times for 25 points in that last game, which we're going to talk about the Mercury in a second. So yeah, I think the Fever should be able to score some points off turnovers as well, like they did in the last game. But as far as rebounds go, this is the number 1 offensive rebounding team in the WNBA. The Dallas Wings are number 1 last 5 games, number 1 full season. I'm sorry, number 1 last 10 games, number 1 full season. The problem with that is the Fever are actually the second best team at limited offensive rebounds. So if they come in here and play like they have been playing, I think that they will get the job done. I don't know if they're flipping a switch or if they were just playing at home and they were well rested in some of those spots. But I mean, you just knocked off the Mercury. I think you should be able to go ahead and beat the Wings by 2 possessions. That's my thought process. Peasy agrees. He says Fever -4. Dom says I stared at 166.5 all day yesterday and didn't bet it because it hadn't moved. So I thought something fishy was going on. I think the books are just opening these lines a lot earlier than they should, Doms. And I don't think a lot of people are looking at it. I know you look at it early. I honestly think that's what it is, because now some of these totals are starting to move, and I'm thinking to myself, why didn't I bet them too? The Liberty one being one, the Mercury one, which we'll talk about in just a second. All the totals have gone up today. All of the totals have gone up. Now he says, I agree with you on the over though. Fever money line for Stan. Brian says Indy -4. Hopefully they keep the same intensity and don't fall off defensively like before the All-Star break. Gonna have to trust them here, and I agree with that. Let's see. Anthony says Sophie Cunningham over her 9.5 points is in his pocket. She's going over in 4 for 5 games without Caitlin Clark. All right, so let's look at that real quick, Anthony. Let's fact check you real quick. Let's go over to Outlier really quickly. We'll do, if y'all got any other player props specifically for this game, y'all let me know and I'll look them up as well. I didn't look into player props for this game. Did not look at any player props for this game, but it does scream like I know I was on I talked about Aaliyah Boston in the last game. I would probably go back to Aaliyah Boston over her boards. I think she's gonna have to get busy on the glass. So yeah, I mean, even just looking at this, right? There's a link in the script. You guys want to check this out. But look at this: last 5 games over in 5, 8 and 4 to 5. Last 10 games over in 7 to 10. So we look at Sophie Cunningham. Her points prop listed at 9.5. She is killing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of her last 8 games, she has gone up and over the number. Good find right here by Anthony. If we just look at the full season, yeah, she's on fire right now. If we look at games without Caitlin Clark, she is averaging right at 8.75 over in 7 of the 12 games. So 58% hit rate to the over in 4 of 5, just like Anthony said. And she gets a very soft defense, right? Dallas gives up the third most points in the WNBA. And Sophie should be able to knock down some shots. You can see the minutes have been super consistent. 30 plus in 4 straight games for Sophie Cunningham. She has been killing. So I couldn't talk you off a little Sophie love in this game either. Let's see. Y'all didn't put any more player props up, right? Nope. All right, let's get back here, and then we will jump into the next game. So I did bet over in that game. That number is gone though. All right, next game up we have is the Mercury and the Dream. So this line is, I think it's settled at 3.5 now. Let me just double check. Yeah, 3.5. Total continues to go up. This one opened yesterday at 162.5, 163-ish. And only going up to 166 now. I see just 166. So injury report here on the Phoenix Mercury side of things. They have a clean injury report. On the Atlanta Dream side of things, some things you got to be concerned about. Jordan Canada, who missed that last game against Dallas the other night, she is listed as questionable with an illness that caused her to miss the last game. Brittany Griner is also listed as doubtful. I think it's a shoulder injury or something with Brittany Griner. And then, of course, no Ryan Howard. She continues to be out. So Phoenix, I like Phoenix in the spot. I do. I haven't bet it, but I think Phoenix is the right side, and I'll tell you guys why. So they have not been playing well. If you are just going out on a limb and you want to take a team in a bounce back spot, great. If you want to continue to fade a team that's been playing pretty bad, then you want to fade Phoenix in the spot. They've lost and failed to cover 4 of their last 5 games. This is their 4th game of a 5-game road trip. So they've been on the road. There's some things to not like about Phoenix. On the Atlanta side, some things not to like. 3rd game in 4 nights. We know they just played back-to-back when they lost to the Valkyries, then beat the Dallas Wings. So the travel situation is not great. But outside of 3rd game in 4 nights, it's also 4th game in 6 nights, right? They beat Dallas by 3 after losing to Golden State by 2. This is the second matchup of the season. Phoenix, of course, got smoked in that game. So a little bit of, not even a little bit, a lot of revenge that they could get in this spot. They just lost to Atlanta. Atlanta was coming off that loss to Vegas I think that was like a week ago, a little over a week ago. Atlanta won that game 90-79. And they were getting 7.5 points in that game. Game did go up and over to 164.5 total. And this one is not too much higher. And that was with Connecticut. That was with, Phoenix absolutely just looking terrible. They only scored 79 points in that game. And Atlanta got to 90. So I like the revenge spot here for Phoenix. I like that they are the more rested team. I like a lot, right? This actually is the same trend that favors the Liberty in the game that I did play earlier. So road favorites coming off a road loss cover 58% of the time. This season, they're covering 78.6% of the time. 11-3-1 against the number. 7 straight wins and covers in this spot from a season trend angle perspective. If the road favorite lost as a road favorite in their last game, so not just a loss, but they lost as a road favorite, they win 75% of the time. They cover 64% of the time. This season, 6-1-1 against the spread, 86%. If both of the first parameters that I said are true, right? So if they lost as a favorite and if they lost as a road favorite and now they are a road favorite in the next game and they have in-season revenge, same season in-season revenge, 11-5-2 against the number. That's 68.8% as well, 15-3 straight up. The Dream are just 3-7 straight up, 1-9 against the spread when they're facing a team that they've already beaten this season. We just saw this with the Valkyries. They beat the Valkyries the first game. They covered the spread. They were at home. And then, of course, they lost the game to the Valkyries in the next game. The only cover that the Dream actually have in this spot, because I just mentioned that they were 1-9, is the one game that they beat the Sky. And that was when the Sky, we didn't know who the Sky were truly going to be without Ariel Atkins and Angel Reese. And they beat them by like 50 in Atlanta right before the All-Star break. In Chicago right before the All-Star break. For the Mercury, they lost their last game. I mentioned this already because they had 19 turnovers against the Indiana Fever. They led to 25 points for the Fever. Which is why the Fever ended up with 107 points. I'm sorry. That was the most turnovers that Phoenix has actually had on the full season. Luckily for Phoenix in this spot, they get an Atlanta team that actually forces the fewest turnovers over the full length of the season. They also bottom 5 in the last 5 games. So they should be able to protect the basketball against the Atlanta team that doesn't force a lot of turnovers. Now Phoenix has the rest advantage. They have revenge. This should be a spot where they can get right. I like Phoenix in this spot. I have not bet this one yet. I did see a money line like -150. I'm interested in even just playing the money line because we know these 3.5 to 2.5 to 4.5 point spreads can be a little tricky at times. But I do like Phoenix in this spot. I looked at the last game. I watched the last game versus Indiana. Satu Sabli eventually got to come around. She's looked absolutely terrible. Her 3-point shot's not falling. She's not doing a lot out there at all. It feels like Alyssa Thomas is kind of carrying the load, but I don't know. I think Phoenix is the right side in this game. I want to bet them off a loss. I want to fade Atlanta off a win, and also want to fade Atlanta in this revenge spot. But we shall see. We shall see if I get there. That's my thought process on this game. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Tough game. Missed the number for the Mercury. FY says. Dom says he got Mercury -1.5 plus 100. Okay, Mercury -3 for Stan. Dom says he likes the under. The reason why I couldn't bet under is because when I looked at these two teams defensively last 5 games, they've been absolutely terrible. And that's what scares me about Phoenix as well, is that Phoenix defense has actually gotten really terrible. Like, they can't stop anybody outside of the Washington Mystics, who can't score the basketball in the first place. But yeah, Phoenix is actually 9th in defensive rating over the last 5 games. They got a defensive rating of 105.8. And it's not just the Fever game that they gave up 104 points. I think it's more than that. I do think it's more than that. Defensively, they on the full season, they're the 5th best defense. But last 5 games, their defensive rating has actually got really, really bad. They're actually the 2nd worst net rating team in the last 5 games. That makes it really, really difficult. I do think it's a nice bounce back spot for them, though, here. But yeah, 9th in defensive rating for Phoenix. And then, believe it or not, the Atlanta Dream are actually 12th in defensive rating in their last 5 games. And that comes with a game plan against the Valkyries, who can't throw a rock in the ocean most of the time. So I couldn't get there with the under. I think I could see why you like under, but I can't get there with the under. Not with the defensive rating between these two teams. First says the Mercury are forever on the ban list. Grinder doubtful, Canada questionable. Mally says the Mercury has not been looking good and out of sync. Dream like to keep it close and start in the game. I'd bet this and get more points as an underdog. Okay. Let's see what else y'all seeing here. Our stay away game for me, Natalie says. FY says Mercury team total over maybe. I looked at the team total. I think it's like 84.5 was the team total. You need them to get to 85. I kind of feel like if the Mercury gonna win, they typically score. Yeah, it's 84.5. It's a juice 183.5 on BetMGM. Let's see real quick. Let's just look at one more thing real quick. So let's look at the Mercury when they are in a revenge spot this season. Mercury are 7-7 straight up, 7-7 against the spread. That tells me nothing. They are 5-0 to the under in their last 5 games. What if we add the day on the road? They are 4-5 straight up, 4-5 against the spread. So they don't do well in these revenge spots. Actually 6-3 to the under, to Dom's point. 4 straight unders in this spot. As a road favorite with revenge, they are 2-1 straight up, 2-1 against the spread. They do average 94 points in the spot. Against the Sky, against the Wings, against the Mystics, they've scored 88, 89, and 107. So maybe that's the look. Maybe that is the look. If the Mercury win on the road, they average 90 points. 101 against the Fever. I'm sorry, no, my fault. All right, road wins. So in their road wins, they do cover. They're 6-1 against the spread. So if they win, they cover. Let's see. They have scored 88 against the Mystics, 78 against the Valkyries. They won that game by 1. 107 against the Sky, 89 against the Liberty, 83 against the Sun, 76 against the Aces, and 85 against the Sparks. So they average 88.5 if they win as a favorite on the road. All right, enough of this game. I'm actually getting tired of this. Jason says, how about Nas Hillsman? She's been hooping. Teams have been leaving her open lately, and she's in doubling the big. She's been getting so many shots up at the top of the key, and they've been cash. I think she hit 5 threes in that last game, Jason. She's been hooping, man. And we probably won't get a number for her today if Brittany Griner's out. But it's going to be her that has the impact. And Pau also going to have a big impact if Jordan Canada can't go in this game too. So, yeah, I agree with you there. Nas Hillman's been hooping. Let's see. Jason says 3-4 since Bonner got there. They were like 13-6 before she got there. Nally says, even though there's no one on the injury report, the Mercury are fighting through injury. I need you to elaborate on that one a little bit, Nally. I don't know if they're fighting through injury. I feel like, man, they had the whole like break. Like they just been inconsistent. You saw it in the game against the Mystics. Like they had the whole break. The All-Star break. Like I don't really want to give them a pass, but I guess you can. Brian says Phoenix land 3.5, maybe money line land the first half. Any thoughts on the first half? First half for me, no. Even when the Mercury won and covered that game against the Washington Mystics, the last game, they still didn't cover the first half. I think they were losing. It wasn't until the second half that they got going. So I don't know what the Mercury are as far as first half, full game. Like they not doing it for me at all. Anthony says, get on the Mercury now if you like it. When Grana and Canada get ruled out, that number is going to go up. I do agree with that. Like I said, if I play it, I think I like money line a little bit more. I saw -150 earlier, and that is gone. It's now -160. I don't really like land too many -160s. Drop the ball. That's what I would have played. I think that they can win the game. Justin says over. Anthony says Sky Valkyries under. We'll get to that game in just a second. Got to stay on task. We got to stay on task. Next one up is the Sky and the Valkyries. So line this one open. I think it was 5.5 and hasn't really moved. I think I saw some 5s. Total is starting to come down a little bit. Open 156.5 is what I wrote down in my notes yesterday. And it's down to 154 on a couple books. So got to start with the injury report. And I'll tell you, this is a game that I'm least interested in today just because of the injury report. On one side, we know that Chicago will be without Angel Reese. They will be without Ariel Atkins. To me, that completely talks me off Chicago. Haven't seen enough from this team to want to bet on them. And I'll talk a little bit more about that without those two players in. Haley Van Lith is listed as game time decision. Michelle Onyenwere is also listed as game time decision. They're both listed as questionable. And then I'm going to butcher her name, but Yuzin, I think is how you pronounce it. She was the guard who was recently signed for Chicago earlier this week when they cut who did they cut? They cut Mariah Jefferson. They cut Mariah Jefferson because she couldn't stay healthy. So Chicago got a lot going on with the injury report here. On the other side of things, the Golden State Valkyries were without Monique Billings yesterday when they played in DC. They were without Xander Seeley, who ended up missing the game as well. So potentially they could come back. Like, who knows? The Valkyries could also add people to the injury report. So this is the game that I really don't want to bet. Like, I'm just give you guys my thought process, and then we'll keep it moving. Valkyries, first time playing unrested all season. This is their third straight road game. They play 4 games in 6 nights as well. Not typically a spot you want to lay a lot of points with a team. Chicago, I want nothing to do with, though. Like, they've lost 6 straight. They haven't covered any of them. They've lost all of them by double digits as well. They've given up 86 points or more in all 6 games, and their opponents average at 93 points per game during their 6-game losing streak. Golden State did win the first matchup as I think they were laying 8.5. Yeah, 8.5 points in Golden State. They won the game 83-78. So we didn't see Golden State be able to cover that game, but that game did have Ariel Atkins in it. It also had Angel Reese in it. So I want to say Golden State can win this game and they can cover the spread because their defense is supposed to be enough. But are they a little fat and happy after winning, a couple games in a row? Because remember, they beat Atlanta, then they beat Washington, and they beat both of those. They won both of those games as a dog. So now you got, all the situational stuff. And granted, I feel like everybody's better, 5 points better than Chicago right now, though. But maybe you just take. I don't really like landing a lot of points with the Valkyries on the road. I think if you want them, you should have took them yesterday. I probably should have took them yesterday when they were getting points against Washington. Either way, I guess Golden State would be the lesser of the two evils in this spot, and I would just probably lay the 5 points with them. But I would also want to know who's going to be available in the injury report here. I don't care if Chicago got the rest advantage. I don't care about any of that. They just look absolutely terrible. Let's see. What is the Chicago Sky team total? This Chicago team just gave up 100 points to the Mystics. We saw the Mystics score 6 points last night. Valkyries team total 79.5. The Chicago Sky team total 75.5, 74.5. I'm not sure if they get there today. I guess I would go under. I'm not betting the game though. Let's see what you guys are thinking. We'll keep it moving. Cardoso double. Antonio says, okay, I can see that. If Washington Golden State Chicago, pass. I'm with you. Sky Valkyries under is getting hit hard. Get in now. First, it's couldn't pay me to watch or bet this game. I hit the like button for me while I take a quick water break. Nally says Valkyries are pass. Sky so ass. Dom says they are. Golden State first half without Angel. No way, Chicago. Right there with you. Doggy Bone says under pass for Unique. FY says I was on Cardoso for a while, but Golden State bangs down low. They do. But without Monique Billings, we'll see how much they can bang. The Valkyries are a very simple team that's very, very complex at the same time. They're going to play good defense. They're going to play slow, and they're going to shoot a bunch of threes. Now, whether the threes go in or not, I say this every single time. Whether the threes go in or not, who knows? Last night, I think they hit 6 threes, 5 threes in the first quarter. They end up with 30 points. The Valkyries are the worst scoring team in the WNBA in the first quarter. So, especially on the road. If the three's going to fall, they're going to be able to get the job done. And Chicago Sky defense is not great. From the 3-point line, from the 2-point line, the 1-point line, the WNBA All-Star 4-point line, this is just not a good half court. Like the Sky defense is so bad. They're the worst defensive rated team, worse than the Connecticut Sun over the last 5 games. A 117 defensive rating. And it don't seem like it's ever going to get any better. They don't have a lot of defenders out there. Let's see. Yeah, worst 3-point defense in the WNBA, allowing teams to shoot 37%. Last 5 games, allowing teams to shoot 37% as well. Right corner, worst defensive team. Left corner, they are 7th there, but last 5 games, 9th. Above the break 3 defense, worst in the WNBA as well. Boy, restricted area, they give up the most makes, they give up the most attempts. All right, let's keep moving, man. This is a terrible defense. I can't take the points with this guy, even with the rest advantage. But Rachel Banner makes a lot of sense. Especially if Haley Van Lith is ruled out for. I agree with that. Nelly says Valkyries is road dogs, and the Sky currently so much ass. We going to the strip club with this one. Bad. Maybe Valkyries team total over. Thinking that they can get to 79. Maybe. We shall see. All right. Last game on the board is the Sparks and the Storm. This game opened with let's see. This game opened with a total of 160. Yeah, I got 166 in my notes. Open with the Sparks laying 5.5. With Seattle laying 5.5 as a home favorite. The line has come crashing down since the show has started. It's down to 5. I do see some 4s, some 4.5s as well. So number counter all over the place. Total only going up, and I agree with it. Open 166, like I said, up to 168. I do see a 168.5, but it's as low as 167.5 if you still like it and want to get involved on DraftKings. Injury report. Neither team has anybody listed on the injury report. Storm will be at full strength. Sparks will also be at full strength. So Sparks have actually been playing some really good basketball, right? And now they're back on the road where they keep just covering. They're 9-4-1 against the spread on the road. They've covered 69% of their road games, which is the best in the W. Meanwhile, you got a Storm team that covers just 38% of the time at home this season. They're 5-8 against the number at the crib. Also, Seattle laying 5 points or more, which I guess isn't relevant right now. But they're 1-5 against the number, laying 5 points or more this season. Well, laying more than 5 points this season, including 5 straight non-covers. They, for whatever reason, just can't cover. Sparks have won. They had won 5 in a row before they ran into the Aces coming back home off their 3-game road trip. Even still, they've covered 4 of their last 5 games. They've also have 2 more days of rest after this game because they don't play again until Tuesday, where Seattle plays on Sunday. I think they got the Fever coming into town. Yeah, the Fever coming to town to play the Storm on Sunday. And then for Seattle, this is their first game back after a 3-game Eastern Conference road trip as well. And they have been so Jekyll and Hyde. They've alternated wins and losses for 9 straight games now. They're coming off a win. They're just 1-6 straight up and against the spread if you go back to June 6th. So I guess it's Sparks plus the points for me here. The problem that I had with the Sparks is that in revenge games this season, they've still been trashed. They're 2-6 straight up and against the spread. So if they cover, they do win. The 2 revenge angles were actually against the Aces and the New York Liberty. They won both of those games, but outside of that, when they lose, they don't cover. This is the second matchup this season. Seattle actually went into LA and smoked the Sparks in that last game, 98-67. Back on June the 17th, it's 8.5-point road favorites. Yeah, I mean, it's over and it's Sparks in my opinion here. I know that Seattle's defense has been, really, really good, but I think it could be a little bit of a letdown. I do think that no matter what you think about the Sparks offense, their defense still just doesn't show up. Cameron brings second game back. We'll see if they can get stops. Sparks continue to play fast. They're number one over their last. The Sparks are actually the number one over team in the WNBA. 72% of their games. You're winning 72% of your bets if you just play every Sparks game over. 72% to the over. But Seattle's just 48% to the over. So you don't like that a little bit. But the Sparks, like I said, in revenge games, the 7-1 to the over. They don't play any defense. And I don't think that that's going to change. I think the Sparks will just continue to try to light you up. This reminds me of like D'Antoni when he was coaching the Phoenix Suns with Steve Nash. And then when D'Antoni started coaching the Houston Rockets with James Harden, they were just trying to get to 125 every single night. And James Harden was averaging a triple-double. That's what the Sparks kind of remind me of. I think that they'll be able to score. I think they'll push Seattle as well to be able to score the basketball. Interestingly enough, I did find that Seattle has not covered a game with a total that's above 161. So when Seattle's involved in high-scoring games, they typically don't score as much. They're 0-4 against the spread, only 1-3 straight up. That points to Seattle, Seattle not covering the spread and taking the Sparks plus the points as well. So that's the way I would look. I would look Sparks plus the points. I did not bet this game yet. We have until 10 o'clock to bet this game. So I didn't bet it yet. Didn't bet anything here. Let's see what you guys are thinking. We'll do a quick recap and we'll jump off. Let's see. Give me an A bet on this one. Give me a bet on this one. FY says. So it'd be Sparks plus the points or full game over. I still don't think it's high enough, honestly. Brian says all road favorites so much so far in the handicap. Which one's gonna lay an egg? Not all road favorites for me. Or is it all road favorites? I like Connecticut. I like that. I like Indiana. I like Phoenix. I can't play Chicago, so I guess I do like Golden State. One of them definitely gonna lay an egg. One of them is definitely gonna lay an egg. I didn't realize we had all road favorites except Seattle's the only home favorite today. Natalie says Sparks plus 5 already bet it. FY says Golden State may lay the egg. They could potentially. Natalie says I saw Mercury lay an egg. I say Mercury lay an egg. So they could potentially lay an egg. But coming off a loss, I like the Mercury in the bounce back spot. FY says, can they hit the over with Seattle playing slow? I think so. So real quick, if we just look at this, if we look at the Storm games, so if we look at Storm games, I always like to start with a general picture, right? So this is the highest total for the Storm this season. If the total is 160 or higher, so this is the highest total. 160 or higher, the Storm are 5-3 straight up, 4-4 against the number, 5-3 to the under. These games are averaging 158. So that does not bode well for over, but I don't think that maybe they have played. I don't know. The thing about the Storm is when the total is this high, I feel like they're the team that doesn't score the points, right? Storm have been held under their team total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the 8 games when the total is above 160. And if they're a favorite, they are 1, 2, 3, 3-3 to their team total over under, but they give up points, right? They've only held teams under their team total in 2 of these games if they're a favorite and the total is above 160. And I just don't think the Sparks are gonna be able to stop anybody. That's what it really comes down to for me. Sparks is a road dog this season, 7-3 to the over. They're giving up an average of 89 points per game, 3 straight overs. They gave up 99 to the Liberty. They gave up 86 to the Mystics, 87 to the Fever, 89 to the Liberty. The last time the Sparks actually played defense and held the team below, a team total was the Fever. They held the Fever to 75 points, and I kind of feel like that's when the Fever were trying to figure out how to play without Caitlin Clark. So, Sparks not really stopping anybody. Opponents are actually 7-3 to their team total over. They've held 3 opponents under their team total in this spot. So I think over is the way that I would play it. Brian says LA plus 5.5. Let's take the road team today. Sparks get back on track. I agree. Easy look. early look on Aces and the Lynx. I saw that the line was out. I didn't look into the game. I do see that the line has moved though. Minnesota was laying 5.5. They up to 6. I don't know, man. I think I agree with the total going up. 163.5 is what it opened at. It's up to 165. I think could be a little bit of a letdown spot. Minnesota first road game after I think 5 or 6 straight home games. Aces have looked decent. I do think there's something to the Aces. I was thinking about this last night. I think there's something to the Aces. Talked about wanting to fade them against the Sparks in that last game. I think it's something to the Aces playing against teams that can play good defense. Because when I think about the Aces' last few wins, they've been against teams that can't get stops. They just smoked the Sparks. Asia had 100 points at the end of the first quarter. And then before that, they lost, right? They lost to the Fever. Fever can play defense, though. Before that, they smoked the Wings. The Wings can't play defense. So I think it's something to like the minute. Like, I don't really trust their offense. But I mean, you got to trust everybody offense against the Sparks defense. Everybody offense against the Dallas defense. Like, that's just what we're seeing. Minnesota could be in a little bit of a letdown spot because they got what they wanted in that last game. I also think about it from that perspective. It's a very professional team, but 6 is a lot to lay on the road. With an Aces team that needs every single win that they can get. If I'm not mistaken, they're probably in 7th spot in seeding wise. So they need every win they can get. Minnesota could potentially let their head down a little bit. I don't know. Aces back at the crib. I think they got the rest advantage as well. Maybe it's an Aces plus the points type spot. Also, Aces got double revenge. They got blown out in both games against this Minnesota Lynx team. So that actually tells me under. I tell you guys all the time, double in-season revenge. Especially if it's a home dog, you always want to take the under. I don't know. Maybe we see the Aces' best fastball tomorrow. I could potentially see that. And it's the only game too. It is a 3:00 start time tomorrow. I'll do a little bit more work, but y'all heard most of it already. Natalie says just put a future on the Sparks to make the playoffs at plus 210. I like that. So Natalie, if you like the Sparks to make the playoffs, who's not gonna make the playoffs? Somebody got to fall out. Is it the Valkyries? Is it who else? Who's in front of the Valkyries? Somebody got to be in front of the Valkyries. Is the Aces in front of the Valkyries? I want to say yes. Somebody can't make it though. If somebody in, everybody can't go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, the Valkyries in the last spot. The Sparks they got to get right, man. They 2 games behind the Valkyries right now. Beating the Mystics twice definitely helps a lot because they'll own the tiebreak over the Mystics, even though they're a game and a half behind the Mystics right now. I need to look at their schedule, though, see their strength of schedule for the rest of the season, look at some of these travel spots, but that makes sense. But yeah, Natalie says Mystics or Valkyries. So Mystics are not in, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, Mystics, if it started right now, Mystics would be on the outside looking in with the Sparks, the Wings, the Sky, and the Connecticut Sun definitely not going. So it's going to be a 3-way race for, I think, the last 3 spots. I mean, the last spot for sure. But actually, it's not even just the last spot, unless the Aces get hot. Just never know what you're going to get from the Aces, man. I kind of like them. I kind of want to take them tomorrow now that I talk that out a little bit. We'll see where the line goes. I think the public will be on the Mystics. I mean, I think the public will be on the Lynx tomorrow just because they have been looking so good. Aces got to have some pride sooner or later, right? I don't know. We'll see, man. All right, let's get into a quick recap. What I bet New York minus the 10. I bet Indiana and Dallas over the 169.5. That number is gone, but you still can get, I think you can still get some minus 10 right now with the Liberty if you wanted to join in. Actually, it's moved to 11.5. CLV means absolutely nothing in the WNBA though. So I could pat myself on the back, but then I might fall asleep crying tonight if the Liberty don't cover the spread. I do think the first half has more of a chance of going over than the full game. When we started the show, you could get a 86.5. Not sure if that number is still available. Do think Indiana's the right side. I do think Phoenix, I had money line in here when it was minus 150. It's now up to minus 160. But I think Phoenix is the right side. I just don't want to lay too many points with them. And I do think the Sparks and Seattle game goes over. I would also play Sparks plus the points as well. LA, the best number you can get. You still can get a plus 4.5. I like the 4.5. I think the Sparks can keep this within a possession. Not because of their defense, though, just because of their offense. But we shall see, man. Y'all do me a favor. Hit the like button for me if you can. If you're interested in the plays that I make when I do make them and send them out to the members, use the link in the sign-up description. Check Jackson out, Outlier, Money Baller, Odds Jam, all the resources. They're linked in the description of the video as well. Show some support to the channel, man. Hit the like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. I'll do a standalone video tomorrow for that Aces and Lynx game. And then Sunday, we're back to having 5 games again. So, yeah, a lot of ways to get paid in the WNBA, man. Y'all enjoy your Friday, enjoy the weekend, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.